People, Deluded, I'm back again. Thank you very much for watching and rocking and tuning in each and every time. I've seen some Maitland-Niles comments, but I've actually woke up and just been messing around with my tactics board thinking about Arsenal. And I thought I'd offer some thoughts quickly. Now, how do I make this make sense? Obviously, in the last two games specifically, I'd say Liverpool and obviously the defeat, well, the draw, but felt like a defeat against Watford. Emery's shown us that he's favouring a compact side. Now, we look to loosely like this. What I mean by compact is defensively, you're going to see some... If I remove all these to make it a bit easier, for now, all the blues are inactive. But from a defensive phase, or if we're defending, do you think it's a thing like this? We're favouring being compact as a team. Behind the ball, let's just say this is how we probably defend people. And then, obviously, to bring these players back into play now, let's just say we've got a wide threat. Two wingers, we've got that striker, we've got their midfielders, and we've got their fullbacks and defence. Fullbacks are going to go forward, obviously. Let's just say we're playing against a team like Liverpool where they're expected to be on top of us and whatnot. This just looks a bit better, yeah? We want a compact side, right, people? We want to be compact, and there's nothing wrong with wanting to be compact. Wanting to concede these wide areas and be able to defend crosses and have like a low, medium and high block sort of thing, and hope that our strikers hopefully press and put these things out when the chance presents itself. But also the midfield three are able to stay compact, screen these sort of threats, and then help us obviously you'll drop, help us frustrate these wide areas, these under-hit passes, these early crosses to get, and frustrate them probably to just trying to shoot and whatnot. Like you saw against Liverpool, and obviously in our last game, we'll concede these wide areas. Now in the Prem, that's a dangerous game because there's some serious hitters. It's a dangerous game for Arsenal to play because we have, at one point, I and a lot of us believe we improved at defensively and offensively set pieces, but it's gone. But for this to happen, you've got to be able to defend. If you're going to stay this compact, people, surely you've got to be able to defend in these areas. How many crosses have you come across, and you've seen guys? This we might need to mark my man. This might, let me move these midfielders. This might be certain centre half's man. Unnecessarily, rather than passing him across, he's gone. Do you get it? Allowing space for him. Ball comes in, centre half unaware, left back unaware. He's in the middle and he scores. We've got to be able to hold sustained pressure, hold our shape. Everybody's not at 6s and 7s like you typically see in our structure and saw against Watford for all of the goals, really. Yeah, apart from the Socrates goal, because we technically were in structure because it was from off the first phase of play. So in terms of high, medium and low blocks and being in blocks and defending these things, we've clearly not done enough work on the training ground because we're getting simply just being compact. It just feels like we're compact for the sake of being compact at the moment, people. It just feels like there's no point being compact if the team don't know what they're doing. Like, you can be in position and think, okay, cool, we're going to defend today. No one's getting down us. But if you don't understand, you have to follow this run. None of these guys are looking around them to their teammates, people. If he's not aware of what he's doing, he's not aware, and vice versa, this will become a part because there'll be gaps in the midfield. The defence, we've just gone over that. The keepers, the eyes and ears. This is our first line of defence with him, give or take. But simply getting in position is not good enough because, like you've seen, we've come unstuck. So we need to not only work on staying in position, but defending in this sort of shape, which we haven't, and which we can potentially take a leaf out of the promoted teams, you would think, and stuff like that. But moving away from that, I saw some Maitland-Niles comments, and I thought I'd offer them. Now, I don't know. It's got, I wouldn't say a bit of frustration, but yeah, man, let me just get on with it. First comment I saw is, on his preferred position, I'm a midfielder by trade, central or the wing. I'm not a defender. I do get a lot of stick for my defending being poor. It's something I'm learning and have been learning for a couple of years now. Now, that's true, that's true, people. And carrying on, it said, it's learning to defend, not on playing right back. learning to defend is not going to come overnight. It's not where I would choose to put myself in the team. I'm an attacking player by trade, and that's all I can bring to the team. So is a bit of that frustration. Will he potentially leave the club between now and January if it's not going to happen? Because we've been saying this. Obviously, people have to do things for the team, whether he's a fullback or not. There's injuries, he's got to do it for the team and fill in there. But a part of me, away from that, part of me believes if Emre truly believed in his central mid qualities, he name dropped him, etc., he would have played there. Joe Willock and Maitland-Niles aren't in direct competition, but we've got Xhaka, who is kind of is a reason why Torreira's not going to get to play, Guendouzi, potentially Maitland-Niles not in this lineup, etc. The loyalty to Xhaka is costing a lot of these midfielders, and I don't believe Maitland-Niles is truly rated in midfield by Emre. I'd love to be proven wrong. At the end of the day, I don't know what Emre thinks, but he name dropped him, he signed a new deal, and I can't tell you the amount of times he played in midfield. He said he wants to be a winger. I don't think it's going to happen here. Potentially, is it something he's going to look at from January to summer, potentially leaving? I personally believe Maitland-Niles' future is in midfield. You can never rule out fullback. It could be a position for you regardless of what you're currently saying. So he might a bit of that comes across to me as a bit of frustration. He can't offer his thing there. I think he's played enough games defensively to improve. I do think he's had good games at fullback. Not last game, I don't think he was good against Watford, but he played good against Liverpool. He's had some nervy moments. He's obviously switched off many times, not tracked runs and done a lot of jarring things. But I think he's done good games, and all in all, I think he's actually done alright at right back. Of course, he wouldn't be my first choice right back option, but I think he's done that. And he's clearly said all he can bring is attacking to the team. For you, Maitland-Niles, you've got to bring more than that, really, because you've got to kind of develop your all-round game. One thing I like about you, but Guendouzi lacks it in a bit, is a tiny bit of urgency at times. The greatest skill is that you're calm. The greatest weakness is that you're calm, because at times it does come across as being a bit complacent, a bit lax, and because of not necessarily being focused, the passing and concentration can invite pressure onto the team. I like Maitland-Niles. I believe he can be a good squad player for the team. But a bit of that's probably frustration. And what leads me to believe it more frustrating is he said in regards to the draw, words can't describe how I feel about it personally. We've spoken to each other as a team, and the manager's also spoken to us. We know we done wrong. We can all hold our hands up and blame each other if we want, but collectively we're a team, and we're going to take responsibility as a team and be even better. Words are nothing. We see Arsenal players come out and say these things all the time. I need to see this sort of stuff. But he said, on Xhaka saying the team was scared against Watford, I don't think so personally. I think we tried to play the way we play. We should have changed it instead of being so persistent and trying to play out from the back. So if Maitland-Niles is saying that, what other players were potentially saying that? And not only saying that, what other potential players were thinking that within that game? Which is always a difficult position. Because you look at the Invincibles, many of them that speak, they said on a regular basis, obviously Arsene Wenger's the manager, but there were games, his thing, what he's saying isn't working. And they said to themselves, yo, listen, what Wenger is saying isn't working. Let's kind of keep them principles, but let's do our own thing. So I do think these players have to figure these things out on a match day. But also, at the end of the day, if the manager's telling them to do several things, as much as I just said what I said, they've got to do what the manager said or they're not going to play. And as much as I think some players are playing poorly at times and whatnot, I always wonder how many things are a byproduct as a result of how we're playing. Because I know a lot of people are saying, oh yeah, we're making these mistakes because we're playing out from the back. And we are, on top of just poor individuals unable to focus for high concentration periods of time, we are making these mistakes because of that. But to a degree, and we know on one hand, to a degree, when you're playing out from the back, the things against Socrates is going to happen. Once in a blue moon, them thing there should be happening. Shouldn't be week in, week out. And I believe you can't, for me anyways, I can't blame Socrates' mistake. Beyond the fact I'm accepting with how we play, that's going to happen. I can't blame Emre for telling them to play out from the back for Socrates making his mistake, because I don't feel that's necessarily Emre's fault. I don't think he can factor in these sort of things. I don't feel that's something for him to blame. So if he's thinking that, how many of the other players were thinking, yo, should we change it? Or how many were thinking, shouldn't we change it? If some people are sticking to the plan, some people are having second thoughts. You can see how the ship sinks quickly. So I'm also thinking that our players potentially questioning Unai Emery's tactics now. Again, it's important not to take what Maitland-Niles is saying out of context, because I'm paraphrasing and whatnot, and it's hard to see the true emotion and the tone of voice via social media. But it is what it is, man. It is what it is. It is what it is. Completely off topic and irrelevant to this, but Did you not see Jeffrey Adelaide against Zenit St. Petersburg? He had a very good game for Lyon, man. Big him up, so he's doing his thing. Amichi's still adapting at Hamburg. He's yet to start a game, but I don't know why I'm mentioning them things, but I just thought I should. I've got nothing more to add, and I really need to get myself moving. It's 10 minutes before I need to leave, so on that note, thank you for watching and rocking. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Deluded, I'm out. Thank you for always watching and rocking with my content. I'm out.